Right, you lot, and Fabinho and Jordan Henderson leaving Liverpool like that? Bloody hell. I tell you, the Saudi Pro League and Saudi Arabia have absolutely thrown a spanner in the works of this summer transfer window. We see a Chelsea team who people worried how the hell would they stay afloat with Todd Bowley. Well, just send the likes of Koulibaly, Pierre-Aubameyang and bloody Edouard Mendy on a plane to the Saudi Pro League and rake in money that just is not warranted for them. And now Liverpool have decided that they're going to play the same trick with the captain. Well, sort of. Now, Steven Gerrard was appointed as manager of Al Ittihad. I mean, fair enough, that's probably about his level as a manager. I mean, I still think the guy needs another chance. I mean, he started alright at Aston Villa, and I think out of him and Lampard, he's definitely the better manager. And I think he does deserve another gig based on what he did and a better gig. But fair enough, how can you not turn down the money? Now, I actually, out of these two deals, I do actually give Fabinho a bit more credit than the Henderson one. And I'll explain why, right? Fabinho, it looks like inevitable that he is going to go. And it is a shame. I think Fabinho is a player who maybe you could argue he's past his best. But I still think he had one bad year, and at the end of last season we did see a bit of a resurgence and a bit of what we knew from Fabinho prior. I think the guy has been one of the top CDMs in the league, and in the past 5 years, until Rodri started becoming sensational and Casemiro came in, he was the league's best DM. And unfortunately last year it did kind of fall apart for him. So fair enough him taking that 40 million. I know he's had a lot of issues behind the scenes with his child being born and stuff, and fair enough taking the gig in Saudi, he deserves it. But Jordan Henderson, a guy who so proudly wears that rainbow armband around, who is one of the most vocal when it comes to kind of rights of the LGBT community and rights against racism, and he's very well spoken and versed, but when the pickup truck of money comes in, all that goes out the window, and he's, I'm going to take the one-stop taxi to Saudi Arabia. It is a bit frustrating. It is a bit of a slap in the face. It just shows that there's no morals in football. There's no ethics in it. It is simply money-driven, and I think we've all known this, but to see a guy who has been so vocal in support of certain groups to then just go to Saudi Arabia is insane, in my opinion. You can see it from him. I mean, he's going to be paid £700 million a week. You can't turn that down. But then, really, does this club not mean anything to him? I get it. Next season, he would not be playing it because of roles he had in the past. With Szoboszlai and McAllister coming in, they seem to have those midfield slots kind of shut down. And, you have the likes of Bajcetic, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and Thiago, who will kind of take over the rest. And he probably may not be maybe too far down in the pecking order, but I think he deserved to see out his contract. I think he has been the second best captain in Liverpool history, at least in the Premier League era, surely, because he has won everything as a captain. And his story, he was a reject in the Brendan Rodgers era. He was somebody who fans wanted gone. And the way he turned his career around and the way he became, he deserved a send-off like Milner and Firmino got. He deserved those 2 more years at Liverpool. And it's a shame that he's going to go like this. Although, is he? Because apparently Al Ittihad expected to get him on a free transfer. Excuse me? Do they not know how it works? You can't just get a free transfer on a player with 2 years left in their contract. My God, who is the lead chairman here? Todd Bowley with his bloody 3-4-4, whatever he was on about playing, and to Thomas Tuchel last year. Clueless they are. And they can't somehow scrape up 20 million money to pay. But yet they can pay him 700 grand a week. Now, Al Ittihad are actually not one of the kind of big 4. Because they think to make a team, so they've got these big 4 teams that they're really trying to build around. Al Ittihad aren't one of those 4. They're kind of outside of that. And although, So I get maybe they would struggle financially, but you've got to rake up the money. And I think he has to leave now. I think it'd be so awkward to have that guy as your captain after trying to leave to Saudi Arabia. And I mean, people have said if he stays, you have to rip him of the captain's armband. I think that's extreme. Like, I get it. Klopp probably will, but I think that's, like, it's a shame to see a club legend just, like, go out like this. I don't think it tarnishes his legacy, though. People saying it ruins him, or even people saying it tarnishes Gerrard's legacy or Fowler's legacy, because they're both going over there. It's like, no, like, this Saudi thing's going to collapse in a couple of years. It's China all over again. People are overreacting about it. It is not going to take off. It's simple reason. It's Saudi Arabia. It's the Saudi Pro League. They don't care about football. They haven't, and they might get their World Cup in, I think 2034 is the one that they're aiming for. I think the 31 is either going to Uruguay or Spain, Portugal. But yeah, the big question is who is going to be Liverpool captain now. I mean, Milner was the obvious deputy, but he's gone now. Now, I think third in line currently is probably Virgil van Dijk, and you have to put him in the conversation. So I think there's really only 3 candidates. I don't like my captain to be a goalkeeper. Alisson definitely is a leader on that pitch, and you could say pretty much out of anyone, he probably deserves to be the captain the most, but don't want it. I think Salah is in contention to be the captain, but I think the issue of him is he's just a bit too nice. So it goes down to Van Dijk, Trent and Robertson for me. I think they're the obvious 3, and I think the problem with Van Dijk being the captain is that he said he doesn't like the kind of leadership from the Netherlands. I think Klopp will probably make him the captain, but between Robertson and Trent, you could probably say that Robertson maybe has more like of the effort, and I've seen people call Trent lazy. I disagree with that. I think he worked hard, definitely, and I think this new position, the only thing I'd have against Trent is that I think there is that like crowd who want to hate on him, and he's one of the most overhated players. Like, the amount he gets so much criticism, and people just want him to fail. It's similar to Maguire when they gave Maguire the captaincy, and there's more pressure that comes to that. I don't know if that's what Trent needs, especially with this positional change. So, but then again, Robertson, I feel like might get himself in a bit too much trouble and get himself sent off. So, I personally say Robertson, Trent, then Van Dijk for me. That's my order, but you know, it's up for interpretation. So yeah, that is my opinion on this whole Saudi thing. I think Fabhino is right. I think Henderson is a bit like just turn it backwards, and all of the morals that he tried to like showcase over the past few years. But you know, it is what it is. You know. And the moral of the story is there's no ethics in football. There's no morals here. It's all money based. It's all about the money. Honestly, get Jesse J here because it's all about the money.